picture. It's the 90s. Beanie Babies are a legit investment. The internet makes that dial-up sound, and everyone, I mean everyone, is playing the McDonald's Monopoly game. You peel that little sticker off your fries, hoping to see Boardwalk, dreaming of that $1 million prize. It felt like anyone could win. But what if I told you that for over a decade, almost no one could? What if the game was rigged from the inside by one man? This is the unbelievable true story of Jerome Jacobson, the man who stole nearly $24 million from McDonald's in the FBI investigation, codenamed Operation Final Answer, that brought his whole empire down. Our story starts not with a criminal mastermind, but with a guy named Jerome Jacobson. He was a former cop, a stickler for rules, a security director at Simon Marketing. This was the company McDonald's hired to produce and handle all their promotional game pieces, including the highly coveted Monopoly tickets. Jacobson's job was literally to make sure the game was secure, too. He oversaw the whole process, even personally transporting the high-value winning pieces from the printing plant to the packaging facilities. He was the guardian of the game. For a while, he was. He took his job very seriously. He implemented strict security protocols. The winning pieces were printed in secret, cut by a special machine, and placed in sealed tamper-proof envelopes. Jacobson himself would fly across the country, the winning tickets locked in a briefcase, handcuffed to his wrist. It was like a scene from a spy movie. He was trusted completely and utterly. But, as the old saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. It all started small, almost by accident. In 1989, a supplier mistakenly sent a sheet of the tamper-proof seals directly to Jacobson's office instead of the secure facility. It was a simple mistake, but it gave him an idea. A dangerous one. He realized he could carefully open the sealed envelopes containing the winning pieces, swap the valuable tickets with common ones, and then reseal them with the extra seals. No one would ever know. His first theft wasn't even for personal gain. He gave a $25,000 winning ticket to his stepbrother, just to see if he could, and it worked. The rush, the power, it was intoxicating. He later said he felt like he had to share the wealth. But soon, that feeling morphed into something much bigger and much more lucrative. Jacobson knew he couldn't claim the big prizes himself. That would be too obvious. He needed a network. He needed recruiters who could find people willing to pose as legitimate winners in exchange for a cut of the prize money. This is where things get wild. He started with family and friends, his butcher, his neighbor. He'd sell them winning pieces for an upfront fee. A $200,000 prize might cost you $45,000 in cash. It was a bargain, and people lined up for the opportunity. The network grew. One of his key recruiters was a man named Gennaro Colombo, a charismatic figure with alleged ties to an organized crime family. Colombo was a showman. He'd even appear in a McDonald's commercial alongside a winner he had recruited. Through Colombo, the network expanded from a small circle of acquaintances to a nationwide web of fake winners. There were ex-convicts, single moms, businessmen, all sorts of people who were willing to lie for a piece of the pie. They had a system. Jacobson would pass a winning ticket to a recruiter. The recruiter would find a winner in a specific state, coach them on a backstory, and tell them where and when to find their winning ticket. The winner would then claim the prize, pay the recruiter their cut in cash, and the recruiter would pay Jacobson his share. For years, the money flowed, and the scam went completely undetected. They won cars, vacations, and millions in cash. They controlled almost every single high-value prize in the McDonald's Monopoly game from 1989 to 2001. So, how did this multi-million-dollar scam finally unravel? It started with a tip. In 2000, an anonymous caller contacted the FBI office in Jacksonville, Florida. The caller claimed that the recent $1 million winner of the McDonald's game was a fraud. They said the winning tickets were being stolen and sold by an insider known as Uncle Jerry. That tip landed on the desk of FBI Special Agent Doug Matthews. Matthews was young, ambitious, and saw the potential for a massive case. At first, his superiors were skeptical. A case about a fast food game. It sounded ridiculous, but Matthews persisted. He convinced his bosses to let him run a preliminary investigation. The FBI's first move was to look at the recent winners. They quickly discovered a bizarre pattern. A surprising number of winners were located in Jacksonville. Florida, the same city where the tip originated. Even more suspicious, many of the winners seemed to be connected. They lived near each other or had mutual acquaintances. It was too much to be a coincidence. Operation Final Answer was officially a go. The FBI wiretapped the phones of the main suspects, including Gennaro Colombo. But Colombo had passed away in a car crash a few years earlier, so they focused on his widow, Robin, and other key recruiters. The wiretaps were a goldmine. The FBI listened in as the conspirators openly discussed finding new winners, collecting their fees, and coordinating their stories. They talked about Uncle Jerry and how he was the source of all the winning tickets. Agent Matthews even went undercover. Posing as a TV crew for McDonald's, he and his team would interview the fake winners, all while gathering evidence. They'd ask them how they won, where they found the ticket, and what they planned to do with the money. The stories were often flimsy and rehearsed. One winner claimed to have found the ticket in a magazine he was reading at the hospital. Another said he found it on the ground. The lies started stacking up. Big break came when the FBI finally identified Uncle Jerry as Jerome Jacobson. They began tracking his movements and building a case against the man at the very top of the pyramid. The final act of the investigation was perfectly timed. McDonald's was about to launch a new Monopoly promotion. The FBI knew Jacobson would have the grand prize ticket. They coordinated with McDonald's, who, by this point, were fully cooperating. They set up a sting operation. The plan was to let Jacobson distribute the final winning ticket and then arrest everyone involved at the same time. In August 2001, the FBI swooped in. They conducted a series of coordinated raids across the country, arresting over 20 people in one day, including Jerome Jacobson himself. The news broke, and it was a media sensation. The beloved McDonald's Monopoly game, a symbol of American fun and opportunity, was a massive fraud. Public trust was shattered. In court, the full scale of the deception came to light. Jacobson confessed everything. He explained how he did it, who was involved, and why. He claimed it wasn't just about the money. It was about the thrill of beating the system. His defense tried to paint him as a man who just wanted to share the wealth, but the prosecution portrayed him as the greedy ringleader of a massive criminal conspiracy. In the end, over 50 people were convicted for their roles in the scam. The sentences varied. The recruiters and fake winners got probation or short prison terms. Jerome Jacobson, the man they called Uncle Jerry, was sentenced to 37 months in prison and ordered to pay back $12.5 million in restitution. McDonald's had a massive PR crisis on their hands. To regain public trust, they immediately launched a $10 million giveaway, guaranteeing 5 instant winners of $1 million each. They severed ties with Simon Marketing and completely overhauled their security procedures for all future promotions. The McMillions scam is more than just a story about a rigged game, too. It's a fascinating look at greed, deception, and the lengths people will go to for a shot at wealth. It shows how one person in a position of trust can create a ripple effect of crime that spans a country and lasts for over a decade. It all started with a simple sticker on a cup of soda and ended as one of the most audacious and entertaining fraud cases in FBI history. So the next time you see a contest with a grand prize, you might just think of Uncle Jerry and the Great Monopoly Heist. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into incredible true stories. See you next time.